To overcome depression due to anxiety, panic attacks, how to overcome overthinking, negative thoughts, things that I myself start struggling once I started having more and more anxiety, panic attacks. I'm no longer depressed. I haven't had any panic attacks for 9 months now, I think. Yeah, depression went away about almost a year ago. The depression went away before the panic attacks. So what did I do to overcome the depression, the overthinking, negative thoughts? Easy. Well, I wouldn't want to say easy, but you just have to put work in overcome it. You might say, but I've been like this for X amount of time. It's gonna I'm gonna live with it forever. Which that's another thing. You're just adding more negative thought to your mind. However, I wouldn't never blame yourself for your anxiety, for your panic attacks, because a lot of people start getting panic attacks, anxiety, depression out of nowhere. It could be because, like, you can lose a family member, close friend, etc. A job. It just happens out of nowhere. For myself, I don't know what triggered my panic attack. My depression came because of my panic attack. Once I lost my job because of my panic attack, that's when the depression came along. So did the social anxiety. So never ask yourself, why do I feel the way I feel? Never ask yourself, why am I overthinking? Why am I thinking like this? Why this? Why that? You might ask yourself why. It's because you're asking yourself more questions than you have answer. It's like, imagine going to school, right? No matter what grade you were in, especially when you're doing your pre-teenagers, high school, college, um, you're over there doing homework at home or you're at school, like you're doing a test, and then these questions you thought you knew the answer to, but out of nowhere you start, oh my God, I can't remember the answer. Why can't I remember the answer? What was the answer? And sometimes you might take a pen, your pencil, whatever. Then you start holding it on your finger. You start tapping on the table. You start flipping the pen around. Or you might start going like this. Tapping your hand like this on the desk. Whatever it is. By doing so, you're thinking even more. You're thinking about the answers. Why can't you remember? But at the same time, you're asking yourself more questions. You're asking yourself questions that you shouldn't be asking yourself. Like I said, you don't blame yourself, because once you blame yourself for things that's not under your control, you're just feeding more negative thoughts into your mind. So the easiest way or the best way to overcome it is when you wake up or when you go to bed, clear your mind. What I mean by clearing your mind is, don't ask yourself why, how come, what did I do wrong, etc. Rather than doing that, just go watch TV, watch like your favorite TV show, clear your mind. Don't watch anything like news, anything that has negativity in it. Listen to music. Anything that calms your mind down, once your mind is calm, you can stay focused. Block out all the negativity as you can. I mean, it might sound hard, but I did it. It took me a while to block out all the negativity that I feed to myself from my surroundings, like whether that's like from watching TV, listening to the radio with negativity, like noise around me, things like that. You know, so once I overcame all those darts, that's how I got better. So instead of asking yourself why, how come, um, the best thing to do is you ask yourself. Let's say you're housebound. Don't ask yourself, when am I gonna get better? Because you might not. You might be asking yourself that every day. So the more you ask yourself that, the longer it takes you for you to get better. Because you have something like this. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna leave my house at 10 a.m. I'm gonna go sleep at 10 p.m. To get myself enough sleep, and so I can wake up and eat, and then leave my house. But by you planning ahead of time, you might create more anxiety because in your mind it's like, oh my god, it's 10:01. I'm not sleeping yet. Oh my god, it's 10:30. I'm not asleep yet. Oh, it's 11. It's 11:30, etc., etc. And then by the time you fall asleep, it might be 2 a.m. and then you have 3 a.m. Then you're gonna be like, oh my god, but I wanted to wake up an hour or two before 10. I want to leave my house at 10. What if I don't get 8 hours sleep? Then you start creating more thoughts in your mind. Oh my god, if I don't get enough sleep, I'm going to be cranky. I'm going to have more panic attacks. I'm going to feel tired. I'm going to feel this way, that way, etc. And then by the time it's 10 o'clock for you to leave, you're going to be like, well, I can't leave because I didn't fall asleep at the time I wanted. Then you're going to be like, oh, I'll try again tomorrow. And then you're going to say, what if I can't sleep again? Then, it's like you're asking yourself all these questions, how you feeling yourself, all these things that you don't want to, but at the same time you don't know why you're doing it. It's because you can't it's because you want to plan for the future, but at the same time you're just like creating more anxiety in your mind. So it's like when you have too much questions and you don't have enough answers for them, then those questions are going to stick into your head, into your mind, till you have answers for them, if that makes sense. So the best thing to do is, if you haven't left your house for X amount of time, don't plan in your mind. One day, just walk out the door. That's it. Because by me just walking out the door at random times, no matter how I feel, it teaches my mind and body that, oh, I don't need to plan to leave my house. It's like, think about people that goes to work. When I didn't have anxiety, I didn't plan what time I want to leave the house, unless I had to go somewhere at a certain time. I'd stop planning ahead. Like, okay, it's 4 hours away. I need to sleep by this time so I can wake up at this time and get ready by this time. Then yeah, it's okay to plan ahead. But if you have anxiety, and you want to leave your house just to walk around the block, while you planning, you might create more what if thoughts, like, oh my god, what if I forget? What if I don't have the keys on me? What if I walk out the door and I closed it? I don't have the keys and no one's home. What if I forgot my phone and I don't have my key and something happened? I can't call home because no one's at home. I don't have the keys to go back and get my phone. Things like that. So the more you feed yourself these thoughts and you don't have answer for these other questions that you taught yourself, then you create more negative thoughts, like, oh my god, I can't leave the house because no one's home. Oh, I forgot to charge my phone. My phone only has 10% battery life. Things like that. So the best thing to do, wake up, do what you have to do without thinking about it, leave the house. Don't let anyone at your house. If they say, where do you think you're going? You have anxiety. You haven't left the house for X amount of time. Where do you think you're going? Write on a piece of paper, I'm going to leave the house. Don't ask me where am I going. I'm just going to leave the house because I want to. Because if someone asks you where you think you're going, you have a panic attack, you have anxiety, you haven't left your house in X amount of time, then you're going to be like, oh my god, you're right. Why am I even trying to leave my house? Then you feed more negative thoughts to your mind. So like I say, don't think about something too much. You might say, but how can I not? I have anxiety. That's one of my thing. I always overthink. Like I say, the more you ask yourself questions, then you have answers, the worse and worse it gets. You might not even realize this, but how you might, when you have negative thoughts, it keeps your mind awake. Your mind is like, oh, I'm looking for answer. And then you can't find the answer to that question. Then you're going to ask yourself, why don't I have the answers for that question? Then you start asking yourself another question. Then bam, next thing you know, you went from having 100 questions and only 5 answers in your mind. Then you add 100 more questions and you only have 5 answers. So that's like 195 questions and only 5 answers. So you're just asking more questions than you have answer, and then you're gonna have to. Then your body starts feeling heavy. Your mind starts feeling heavy. When I started having negative thoughts, I couldn't sleep because my mind wouldn't stop thinking. My mind felt heavy. It's like my brain just felt overwhelmed with questions, things like that. And then when your mind is acting up a certain way, your whole body feels it. So that's how I overcame my negative thought is by not thinking, not feeding myself more negative thoughts, by not asking myself more questions. Relax. You might say it's hard to relax when you have anxiety, which I've been through. Like I say, talk to someone that you can trust about anything about anxiety. Like your favorite sports show, your favorite sport, like your favorite whatever it is, and by you feeding yourself more happy thoughts, your brain's gonna be like, oh, I like this thought. I sometimes I can be when I used to get really bad panic attack, I start watching like comedy. I smile and then my brain's like, oh, I want more of this happy feeling. Then I just smile and then I forget all these things that's going in my mind because your mind is like, oh, I like this happy feeling. So then your brain urge for more and more and more. So when you urge for something more, the happier you feel, the less anxiety you feel. The less anxiety you feel, the less depression you feel. So once your mind is happy, so is your body. You know how your mind and your body is connected. So it's your eyes. Every little part of your body is connected to your brain in a way. So it's same thing. It's like if you're going for a walk for the first time, you might even ask yourself, is this person looking at me? Is that person behind me? Are these people behind me talking about me? Then you start asking yourself all these questions. You know what? So what if they are? Just keep going. I mean, if you need to, listen to music. Get your mindset away from your own mind. Step away from your own mind and just, enjoy going for that walk. You might say, oh, I'm only going for a block, but at the same time, what if you haven't left your house for X amount of time? That block might be, then you're gonna be like, oh my god, I feel more panicky. However, I still did it, and I'm urging to go farther each day, which that's what happened to me. When I started leaving my house, I went from my backyard, slowly walked to my driveway, and then I slowly walked to my neighbor's house, slowly. I kept going farther each day. Sure, the anxiety got worse and worse and worse because I got farther and farther away from home. But at the same time, I had this urge to go farther each time. So the urge overcame the panic you feel, and then next thing you know, I start driving again. I start looking for a job. I start driving. I start going back on the freeway. I start driving my own car. I'm working again, stuff like that. So like I say, it's all about how you handle your anxiety. The sooner you overcome your negative thoughts, the sooner the anxiety slowly goes away. Because your negative thoughts can create more anxiety. So once you overcome your negative thoughts, your mind, your body's gonna feel more relaxed. Guess what? Then the depression goes away, the phobias go away. The symptoms, the sensation will follow and slowly go away too. You might have a little here and there, but those sensations that you have the worst will also fade away too. You might start saying, "Oh my God, how come I don't feel the migraine stuff like that?" Just keep in mind when these symptoms go away, don't ask yourself, "Oh my God, how come I don't feel dizzy? How come I don't feel lightheaded? I don't feel the headaches, etc., etc." Just by you saying, "Oh my God, I don't feel this way," it's like you're slowly recovering, but at the same time, you don't know what it's like to not have the symptoms because you had it so long. You know, you just have to delete those memories off your head. You have to forget about those symptoms. That's what happened to me when I slowly start feeling dizzy. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not dizzy. And then every other day, I was like, you know what? Why am I thinking about feeling dizzy when I'm not dizzy? And then next thing you know, I don't think about it anymore. My mind doesn't remember. Because once you create all these bad habits, this bad memory in your mind, it sticks with you until you can learn how to forget about it. Like I said, to forget about it is not to feed it anymore. The less you feed it, the less you remember. So if you can, if you can create your anxiety, you should be able to forget about your anxiety. If you can ask yourself more questions, then you have answers, then you should be able to stop asking yourself questions. But like I say, that's how I stop my negative thoughts. That's how I overcame my depression, is by stop feeding your own mind and surround yourself with as much positivity as you can. Whether that's watching something funny, spending time with people that you feel more comfortable around. You might be like saying, "Oh, but I don't know who makes me feel comfortable." Guess what? If you watch a TV show like news and it gives you anxiety, why watch it? If you're around someone that you feel happy around, be around that person more often, because your mind is like, your mind is so focused on your anxiety. Your mind feeds off that panic attack. Your mind, at the same time, when you find something that makes you happy, your mind focuses on, oh my god, I like this happy feeling. Let's look for more of it. But then you're gonna be like saying, then you might have multiple personality. You're like, oh, I can only focus on one side of me, only can focus on the panic attacks and anxiety. The other side wants the happiness. So it's like you're creating two-person in your own mind. So you have to choose: do you want the anxiety or you want the happiness? Of course, you want the happiness. So you have to slowly push yourself away from that depression, that negative thought, that anxiety, and push yourself towards that happiness feeling that you know is inside, but you just can't figure out how to bring it out. But that's pretty much it.